Hi, everyone. It's John Galante, president of AE Ventures, back with another of our Builder Innovator webcasts. Today, we are really looking forward to having a discussion around Centriq and their owners app. One of my pet projects is this owners app. We're going to look at what it is exactly because it's not that familiar of a solution set for builders, what problems it solves, and the opportunities that it opens up. It can save builders money. I think Chris is going to take us deeply into that, and it can be a money maker as well. So I think there's a lot of benefit and a lot of positive differentiation to be had with the Owners app. The presenters today will be Chris Thompson, who's the Director of Enterprise Customers for Centriq. Mike Parr is a project manager with Red Ledges, and Debra Bailly is project advocate with Advocate Residential Construction Advisors. So Debra, how about you? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your company.
So a little bit about myself. I've been in the construction design industry for a little over 20 plus years, working in custom construction, design, really along the way, acting as an owner's rep. And I will say from experience working for a custom home builder in Scottsdale, Arizona, when Centriq came along, I was like, where has this been all my life? Because it really, the days of binders have gone away. So it's amazing. I think the product is amazing. And so what I'm currently doing in my role now is really acting as an owner's rep for clients who are building luxury custom homes, whether that's from the ground up or project turnarounds. We do it all. So we kind of put the team together for them, help them alleviate any challenges, any stresses that they may have with building a custom home, because we all know that they're there. So we really kind of watch the project from beginning to end, and work as a team with all the other team players in the project. So,
Michael, how about yourself? Give us a little bit on your industry background and what you're doing now.
I started in the industry in 1986, working with my father as a painter. I took over his painting company after that and ran his company until the year 2000, where I started on as a customer service rep for a big builder, a production builder in Southern California. I worked for that first company roughly about 3 years, where they made me as a superintendent. I worked in the customer service department for 3 years before that. And then I moved to another home builder, which was KB Home. And I worked for them for 14 years as a superintendent and a project manager at the end. After 14 years, I decided that I had this opportunity to come to Utah and work for Red Ledges and build custom homes. I jumped on that, came up here, visited Utah, and absolutely loved it. It was pretty much a no-brainer for me to come up and do this job. Now I work as a project manager. I run 5 construction managers. We are building anywhere from 6 homes at a time to 40 homes at a time, depending on how many specs we have in the ground. Mostly right now we're doing fee builds, anywhere from 4,000 to 7,000, and we got one that's 10,000 feet right now.
Are you building on your own land or on the owner's land?
It's all Red Ledges property.
Chris, so your roots reach back to electronic data systems, EDS, and Ross Perot. So you were on the front end of the IT outsourcing and systems integration business and worked a long while in that before you traveled some other territory. Give us a little bit of a rundown.
Yeah. So Fortune 500 enterprise-based IT solutions on a global basis, and retired from them and then went into entrepreneurship, ran a couple startups. And the way I came into the building industry is I've built a couple a number of custom homes. I was always underwhelmed in how they were handed over to me. I thought I wrote pretty big checks, but I always got documents shoved in a drawer or a really heavy binder that really was not very helpful. And so in this last home, when I moved, as Mike migrated to Utah, I migrated to Utah, and I started off in Phoenix, where Debra is, came to the mountains and bought a 10,000 square foot home and had binders and documents and PDFs emailed to me. And what I thought was going to be a great lifestyle soon became a situation where my home was owning me. And so I did some Google searching. I've discovered this app, Centriq. I applied the app towards my home. It worked fabulously. All of a sudden I have free time. I reached out to the COO and I said, "You're selling this currently to B2C. I think there's a B2B play here, that there's an enterprise value proposition to builders and to other companies involved with the home transaction process." And I got some exclusivity. I proved that we could sell this to builders. And now all of a sudden I'm in chapter 2. I've come out of retirement. I'm fully engaged helping Centriq grow their enterprise sales. And I'm really enthusiastic and excited about the impact this can make on the builder and other like home warranty type communities.
Cool. Well, why don't you tell us more about the platform?
Centriq was designed specifically for homeowners, and that makes us perfect for builders. We focus on the customer's customer. So why would a builder want to change what's made them successful and has been working in the past? Well, they might want to do that if they want to improve their customer satisfaction, their customer experience, if they want to reduce their warranty costs, if they want to generate revenue post-warranty, and if they want to simplify the rebate process. If they want to do any of those or all of those, they're going to want to choose a company that can operate at their scale today, and that's Centriq. So first off, increasing customer satisfaction. There are 2 levers that do this: solving problems quickly and enabling the owners to build a lifestyle. Solving a problem quickly requires access to pertinent information, and that will avoid wasting time and wasting trips, so the problem can get solved the first time, every time. Lifestyles are durable. Homes can be transacted. People are loyal to a lifestyle. They're not loyal to a home. So making your homes easy to operate, easy to maintain, will give the time necessary for a homeowner to build the lifestyle that they want in your new home.
The idea of the management and maintenance of the home asset being a substantial part of the ownership experience isn't really well understood. We spend so much time talking about how the buyer is going to live in that space and utilize the rooms, but the reality is this is probably their most valuable asset in many cases, and it does require management and maintenance. So it's a substantial part of the ownership experience. Is the stuff that we don't talk about that much when we're selling homes, because it's not the sexy stuff, right? But it's really important as it pertains to customer satisfaction.
We do have clients that they want to see what's going on in their home themselves, right? And it's nice for them to have that at their fingertips and to get those notifications. And whether they take it on themselves or they pass it along, doesn't matter. But just knowing that while you're living in this multi-million-dollar home you just, built, that it's well taken care of and you've got a team behind you.
I think what Debra stated is absolutely correct. And we have many homeowners that really want to get hands-on, but again, we have just as many that don't want to do anything. So this app is absolutely amazing, and it fits whoever wants to. If they want to be hands-on, they got it right there at their fingertips. If they don't, it's there anyways.
The differentiator from a builder standpoint, in my point of view, putting myself in the seat of a builder, consumers who are buying homes there's wants and there's needs. People need to have transportation, but they want to drive a Porsche 911. So people need shelter, but they want to have a lifestyle and to enjoy the home. And in order to enjoy something and to have that lifestyle, it needs to be friction-free when it comes to operating and maintaining. That's the only way to have the time to create a lifestyle. So any builder who wants to sell something more than just shelter has to focus on the want. And that means they have to focus on the ability for the person to have that lifestyle for which they want to have in that home. Reducing warranty. There are two primary factors that drive this: user error and fixing the problem the first time. Step one, videos explain how to operate the equipment correctly. Combining those with OEM scheduled maintenance will take care of user errors. Step two, when we know there's a real problem, we have created a customizable escalation feature called Get Help. And that will range from escalating from video calls all the way up to an in-home visit. And we can customize this to direct the homeowners to your preferred service network. Now, your service staff will have access to all the information within Centriq, so that makes it easy for them to understand what equipment has gone wrong, so they will not make mistakes, and they will fix the problem the first time every time. And this is going to drive up your NPS score.
Do you have, I mean, you guys have so many products and database, but do you have research data points on how often it is that operating error is the cause of a warranty issue, a product failure? Is it a big percentage of the time?
Because we're actually not the ones taking the calls. I don't have that data itself, but I was recently at the home warranty conference a month ago, and that is a substantial amount of what's considered friction in the system, that half the time their phone reps are taking calls that are really user errors. People aren't operating the equipment correctly. So they always have to take time, go back, make sure the person's operating the equipment correctly before they determine, yes, there's a problem. And I think builders, Mike would probably be able to comment to that as well, that builders, I'm sure, have the exact same problem. But my experience is anecdotal versus, factual quantitative data.
Even if it doesn't result in a claim, there's a lot of time spent on managing that issue of a product under warranty. Is that right, Mike?
Yes. I would say that we have probably 70% of the time that we go out to a home, it's user error. We spend a lot of time on our new home demonstrations to make sure we try to limit that as much as possible by giving them the information that they need ahead of time.
In terms of monetization, why not take a share of the annual home maintenance spending that's currently going on? We can design a program that allows you to share in the transactions made on Centriq on the go forward. And that can go anywhere from parts sales to whole home warranty sales to service jobs, as well as replacing an appliance when an appliance goes bad.
I have retail experience. My first job out of school was with Spiegel Catalog. But in retail, what you call the home is a platform product, right? You can sell so many attachments to the home. It's the all-time greatest platform product that has not been exploited as a platform product, right? So this technology that's arriving today, whether it's QR codes in model homes or owners apps like yourself, are enabling builders, if they make that choice, to get into the long tail revenues and then some.
In terms of improving rebates, we're going to build APIs into the OEMs on our side. So this process will become frictionless and automatic in the future.
This has been such a cost savings to just us in time. The rebates and all that's on top of that. But the time savings and the ease of working with the Centriq app is just amazing.
And John, it's important to point out we're not trying to supplant or go after the rebate supplier business. We can work with the company's rebate supplier, making it easier, because they don't have access to the photographs either. So we can work either with the builder directly or the rebate company, but we are moving upstream directly with the OEMs to make that process easier for the OEM who's ultimately writing the check. This slide highlights that there are 2 points of view: the builder's point of view and the owner's point of view. From a builder's point of view, your money is made during the construction phase. You start to give money back during the closeout, and the warranty phase. And many builders will buy structural insurance to mitigate future expenses if something were to go wrong with the foundation. Now, from a homeowner standpoint, it's very simple. The construction is the journey, ownership is the destination, and enjoyment is their aspiration. So in between those 2 points of view, there's a process we call the handover process. That's where construction and ownership come together. This is where Centriq rules. So Centriq makes it easy prior to the handover, for the builder to gather all the critical information necessary to convey to the homeowner. And up till now, that's always been physical information. So now, because we're an app-based solution, you have the opportunity to deliver multimedia type content to your owners. So you can deliver videos and animations, anything that you feel delivers the brand experience you want through your handovers. Now, from the homeowner standpoint, during the handover, when using Centriq, we're going to be the one place to go to when they want to operate, maintain, and enjoy their lifestyle in the home. Now, we've talked about the builder side. Let's dive into the homeowner experience. First off, who thinks this is a way to delight a homeowner? How does this make it easy to operate or maintain a home? I'm going to take a second and show you how my home was delivered to me. I live in Park City, Utah, and I live in a relatively expensive neighborhood. And this is how my builder gave me my home. I guess they're in expensive plastic sheathing, but this is no way to figure out how to operate and maintain my home.
Well, my wife and I, we also have plastic bags to put the papers in. So Ziploc. So we have taken it to a high level.
And I created Excel spreadsheets in the past because I'm super organized, but all that's wasted time. That doesn't need to happen anymore. At Centriq, we make it easy to upload the major systems into Centriq. We can take the data directly from your ERP system using an API, or in this instance, we can have someone snap a photograph of the nameplate. Centriq will do all the rest once we have that data. Homeowners, they want to own their home and they don't want to have the home own them. So we make it easy to operate their home. We make it easy to see all the manuals that tell them how to operate and maintain their home. We have all the equipment details, so if there's ever an issue with the home, they don't have to search for it. We do push notifications to let them know important tasks that need to be done. And we are the only app that notifies them if a product is under recall. Now, this is important. This is a major safety claim, and that's important to homes and families. We make it easy to maintain the home. A major part of creating a lifestyle is having the time to do what you enjoy. That means not having mental effort to remember the tasks that you have to do over the next 12 months to operate your home or to maintain your home. Centriq will tell you what you need to do and when you need to do it. We put that schedule together. So for the DIY homeowner that wants to do it themselves and save some money, it's easy. And for the other person who's willing to write a check and outsource that to a property manager, it's also easy.
How many marriages do you think that this app will save in the long term in terms of the oversized honey-do list? Seriously, there is serious personal psychological pain around all those maintenance items. And like to have a third-party authoritative data source providing the prompts on that instead of somebody's voice of caution probably actually literally will save a few marriages.
Centriq allows you to curate your homeowner handover experience. So for production builders, we can create templates to ensure brand consistency for each of the model homes or neighborhoods that you have in the marketplace. But for custom builders, we can create very unique and tailored experiences for each homeowner. Keep in mind, your branding and messages will stay with the home and all future homeowners long after the initial purchase. Now, here's a question I get asked by every builder. How much time does it take to load a home and a property? And that really depends on how you want to give us the information for each home. James here works for Red Ledges, and he takes pictures of every home, and he walks 4,000 to 5,000 square foot homes with roughly 24 appliances, and he says it's going to take 15 to 20 minutes to upload that home. But if you were to give us the data from your ERP system through an API, we could upload not only a home, but an entire neighborhood literally within minutes. This slide highlights the owner's journey when dealing with an appliance. The key to an app-based handover is making it easy to operate and maintain a home. I've said that before. We remove friction in the process of operating and maintaining. It's important to note your lifestyle comes to a screeching halt when something goes wrong. When things go wrong, lifestyles get destroyed. Handovers that depend upon binders or USB drives or documents in a drawer are dooming the homeowners to a black hole. And that's because, first off, the homeowner needs to search for answers. Your staff doesn't know exactly what's in the home, and that creates a situation where there's a time-consuming multi-trip exercise to identify what's in the home and where the problem is and how to solve it. Now, this is a decision tree. This is an example of the decision tree that owners and your staff are going to have to go through when they're trying to solve a problem. No one can enjoy your home or your lifestyle when you're caught up in this kind of a mess. Centriq removes the friction in resolving problems. The first step is minimizing user errors and making it easy to operate and maintain equipment correctly. Then when we know there's a problem, by having the correct brand, model, and serial number at the fingertips of your staff, it's easy for them to fix the correct equipment and deploy the correct technician to resolve the problem. Centriq is dedicated to continuous improvement, so we're going to start capturing product failures and create and build our own problem-solving database. We're committed to getting smarter and better as time goes on. Our platform allows us to tailor the problem escalation to the needs of each builder. So we can go from fixing it yourself based on, again, a problem database of problems and solutions, to asking an OEM expert to get on the phone through a chat, to scheduling a video call, to ultimately the most expensive way, which is an in-home visit. Now I'm going to tell you about Centriq and why we're the best choice for your handover app. There's a lot of risk when working with a venture-based startup that's not survived the test of the marketplace or the economy. Size and experience matters for scale production builders. Centriq's been operating since 2015. We have over 400,000 homes on our platform, and we're growing by thousands each month. Something that may not be obvious is any competitor entering this handover app space is going to need to build a product database on their own. They're going to need to build the database one item at a time, like we did. And we're 10 years ahead of them. And you can see we've got 2.2 million products in our database. This is our ownership structure. We're part of a multi-billion-dollar parts, warehousing, and distribution enterprise. We will leverage the relationships of ourselves and our parent companies to gain APIs with the major OEMs to make it easier for product registration and rebates. And interestingly, there may be a time when you're trying to close out your books and make your numbers, but you can't do that because you're missing appliances within the home, like a refrigerator or a washer or dryer. And because we're going to have deep relationships with the OEMs, we may have the ability to help you find that unique appliance wherever it is in the nation, put it into our distribution channel and have it delivered to your home so that you can make your closing within the time frame necessary to make your numbers. In conclusion, why choose Centriq? Because we're committed to our customer success. We want to measure the improvements in customer satisfaction. We want to measure the reduction in your warranty costs. We will track all new revenue generated post-warranty. And we're going to measure the improvements in our rebate process. We can do this at your scale today and into the future. Now, I'd like to work with you and design a program that will support your growth today and into the future.
Just a couple of things I wanted to pulse with you on and get the other folks' points of view on. The flexibility on the API loaded information versus the picture captured. The API piece is cool for the as designed home, but the as built home isn't always the as designed home. So having the flexibility to take the pics of the appliances and systems that actually make it into the home, especially go back to our supply chain issues 3 years ago. Having that flexibility can get you to the real thing, one way or the other. And the other thing I would say is the efficiency of the service call that's generated, a field service call, has to be substantially higher, because we all know what the service call is like in most cases is half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour and a half of diagnostics, trying to figure out what's there, what's connected to it, where it is on the floor plans, all of this investigative work that's done, which is not necessarily even good investigative work, whereas they could see construction drawings and the specific models of the products, they're going to be way more efficient.
Yeah, we had a client, and it was the builder actually put together zoning maps for their AC units because the home was so big. And it was nice that he labeled every unit, like physically on the unit, but also on the map to say, okay, this AC unit is powering this area of the house, and they're all numbered. And so what I did in the Centriq app was I literally took that information and put it onto those specific units so that it's all there. The map's there, everything. They can walk into the home and go straight to that unit.
Well, I love that idea that Debra brought up. We haven't done that yet, but I think it's a great idea. We also put on ours, we have an R&R book that gives us all the products and countertop information and paint colors and all that stuff that we put on ours. That way the homeowners can go back to make sure that they've got the proper stuff installed in their home, or if they have questions about the type of countertop that they have, they can go back and they can see, I've got granite, or I've got quartz, and what do I need to seal these kind of countertops. So we put all that information in there. It's wonderful.
Well, let's hear a little storytelling from the two of you as power users of Centriq. Debra, why don't you go first, and why did you initiate the relationship? What were your goals? What was your strategy?
Well, a couple things. Really to bring an extra added value to our clients as advocate, and offer it as a service offering on top of what we do, but also to be able to bring the whole experience together as a whole package. Because like I said before, we're really big on working with everybody. We don't just pull ourselves apart from the team. We put the team together, and we want to work as a team with the builder, the designer, the engineer, everybody involved. So I think it's really adding that extra value to the client, not only from us, but with their builder, and together just bringing that to, as a whole package at the end to hand over.
So you have that as a goal. I'm sure you wanted a nice endpoint, because I'm betting a lot of your services are front loaded, and then you don't necessarily have that nice endpoint, which maybe Centriq is giving you. How did you implement? I mean, what did it take to get this off the ground?
We had a client who built a pretty big home, 10,000 plus square feet. And we started with him, and I will say that the house was built, it was done. So a lot of the work was me physically going in there and taking those pictures. But Chris showing me how to do that, it was like a miracle. I took that first picture, and man, the manuals were uploaded and everything was there. I was like, this is fantastic. So in working with that client, we kind of got out some of the kinks as we went through it. I learned a lot of things that I would probably do differently going forward. But overall, the client was happy, and he's got, like most of our clients, this isn't their first home. It's not the only home. They have 2 or 3 across the country. So also telling them that, hey, you can put however many houses you want on this app, all at your fingertips, and you can control it from wherever you're at. So,
what were the lessons learned? What were the things that you learned to do more efficiently or differently?
I think, well, because it was done, the house was done. Going forward, what we really want to try to do, especially with these new builds from the ground up, is getting in there ahead of time with, following up with the trades, getting that list from the builder or the AV guys, the HVAC guys, and trying to capture that information as it goes into the home, so that by the time it's built, it's all wrapped up in a nice little package.
I think it's interesting. Have you thought about going back to more homes, more clients, and kind of offering this from a retrofit perspective?
We have projects that are, we call them project turnarounds. So they may be, mid-build, and we present it to them at that time when we sign that contract with them. So we're trying to, as they come to us, we're presenting this product along with our other services so that it's all inclusive there.
What did it take to explain this to the homeowner? I mean, was it obvious? Was it of course, why hasn't this been around forever? Or did it take a lot of explaining, like Ricky Ricardo would say?
No, I think that's the biggest thing that I love about it, and I think our clients love, is that it's so user friendly. And when you explain that you can literally control your home from your phone, or your project manager can control it, they get it and they're on board. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like I said, it's eliminating those. Nobody wants those binders and the Ziploc bags you talked about. I mean, sitting in their garage that they're never going to look at.
The supersized Ziploc bags. Okay,
Right.
I just want to set the record straight.
Yeah.
What do you think of the UI?
What's that?
The UI looks great. The user interface. You've been working with it.
Oh, it's
what do you
awesome.
think of it? Because it looks great on the screenshots, but sometimes it's different experientially. Well, how do you feel about it?
I love that you can personalize it to each home. You can name somebody's bedroom if you want to do that. You can put back kitchen. You can delete groups. You can add as many groups as you want. So I love the fact that you can really personalize it. And that kind of goes back to, those zoning maps that we had, and saying, okay, here's what's going on the east side of the house, the west side of the house. And you can break it up however you want. And getting that help from Centriq was super helpful, knowing that you can call them up and ask them the question on how to do something, or if I hit a snag and I couldn't figure something out, they're right there to kind of walk me through it.
And do you feel like you're going to get more efficient on deploying this now that you've been through it a few times, and you already feel like there's efficiencies in deploying it?
100%. Yeah, that big house was a big one to start with. So
good. I mean, are there any other stakeholders besides the owners and yourself that are realizing benefits from deployment of the Centriq platform?
I think, all of the trades see it as a benefit. I think knowing, like I said, just trying to get with them as these materials go in, or, I just talked to an AV guy the other day, and he said, I will send you the list of what we're ordering with the serial numbers, and I can just go in there and pop it in, and it's done, and we move on to the next trade. Right. So I think everybody involved in the build sees it as an asset.
Mike, let's hear more about your story from start to current status with Centriq. Why did you connect with these folks? What were you and Red Ledges looking to accomplish?
Well, Red Ledges Construction is always looking for ways to improve and sharpen our skills, of course. And here at Red Ledges, we take a lot of pride in our customer service and the way we treat our customers after they're done building their new home. We all know that purchasing and building a new home can be one of the most stressful things that a person will do in their lifetime. So when Chris showed up at our office and presented us with the Centriq app and explained to us what it was, what it could do, it was pretty much a no-brainer for us. The thing unique about Red Ledges Construction is that we only build here in Red Ledges. We're not going anywhere. We want our homeowners to be able to go to our restaurant, the Juniper Grill, and be able to talk about their experience, not only with their build of their home, but the way they were treated and the service that we provided to them. Our goal will always be to continue to improve and always be looking for a new way to ensure that we provide the best possible experience for our new homeowners. And we are grateful that we have this opportunity to give Centriq app to our homeowners. We have already improved our experience with our homeowners, and we continue to get better at it.
Did you start working with Centriq after Red Ledge's development was already underway for a while? You already had homes built and then brought it in as an add-on feature set?
Absolutely. We first started off with one of our trial for Centriq. It didn't take long to convince us that it was going to only make our lives easier, but also our homeowners' lives easier. Right away, we assigned James Clark. You saw one of his pictures. James takes about 15, 20 minutes, depending on the size of the home, which is a dramatic improvement from the time it took to put together a nice looking binder. Finding all the paperwork in the home and or reprinting it all because it's been thrown away or lost. Taking all that paperwork and now placing it into a binder in order for the homeowner to be able to look through it. After all that work to put this binder together, in most cases, we find out that the homeowner is taking that binder and putting it in a drawer and actually never looking at it again, really.
How many homes have you deployed it on to date?
I don't have that exact count, but I think it's probably at least 20. And we're not making it an option anymore. We're automatically putting it into every house and giving it to our homeowners.
Yeah. Is it something that you're promoting up front to buyers that they have this tool set now? And what kind of reaction are you getting on that?
Absolutely. It's a great selling point. It's one of the first things we talk about with our homeowners and show it to them. And they're ecstatic about it.
What are you hearing of, among the users? Are you getting good feedback on the utility of the application and conveniences and such?
No information is great information, right? I am not getting any calls from homeowners at all. They're not calling me, asking me how to use it. It's so easy for these homeowners. They're using it and they're not calling me. They're not calling my reps to wonder how to use it. And our reps are making less and less visits to the home because of it.
Yeah. And did you have lessons learned? Are there things that you've come across that you would do differently or better after your initial 20 home installation implementation?
Yes. I mean, we're constantly learning, just like Debra mentioned, she put the layout for the HVAC system in it. That's the things that we're learning as we go. The more and more stuff we can add to this, it will create us less visits to the home. So we're learning as we go, of course.
And you feel good about the UI, your customers, your home buyers feel good about the user interface and admin backend. Is that something that's easy to work with and efficient?
Yeah, so I'm probably not the best person to talk about this because I have James Clark who's running all that for me, but he absolutely loves it. He has no problems with it. And when he does have a problem, they're readily there for us to call and they work it out with us if we have any issues. And a lot of times it's user error anyways, but they walk it through us and we move on. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Very cool. Thank you. Chris, talk to me about economic justification for this, right? When we're working with builders, there's going to be a day of reckoning, literally. It's like, what's in it for me from a cash perspective? It sounds like there's a lot of time and staff expense and other expense savings on the back end with the warranty. But is this the sort of application that is not only appreciated by the buyer, but it ends up accruing positively to the net for the builders?
since we're just now, great question. We're just now focusing on the larger enterprise type customers. Up till now, it's been the mid-size builders, custom builders, and the economics there are very obvious because there's such margins in the homes themselves that the cost becomes very unimportant in terms of the big scheme, in terms of profitability. But as we move towards targeting the production builders, that's going to be a different scenario because they've got shareholders, they've got quarterly results. So I'm in the process of having those discussions right now, John, to be honest. And honestly, so putting myself at the way I was always successful in my previous Fortune 500 world is looking at things from the customer's point of view. And so if I were a builder, a scale builder, I would want to evaluate an owner's app based upon a scorecard. You know, I would look at what are the true embedded costs, and those costs are going to amount to my fixed transaction, like one-time cost. Is there an ongoing cost? And then there's going to be the opportunity cost for the time my people have to put in to make something operational and work. So there's ways to benchmark that. And then there's going to be a benefit list. And I would, because I've just given them the benefits, I'd want to understand what is the warranty cost benefit I can get in terms of reducing time and effort and savings that directly translates into profitability per unit of home. The customer satisfaction, can I measure that satisfaction? And I think you can on a 1 to 10 scale. And maybe you have two or three homeowners apps benchmarked against each other, and you do 10 of each app, and you ask homeowners each one how they rate them. I think there's ways to do this in a quantifiable versus anecdotal way. And then you're going to have the OEM rebates. That'll be, very easy to see. Future revenue generation, I think, is going to be easy to monitor, although, you'd have to do that over a 12-month period of time. Yeah, obviously. But then there's going to be risk factors that any big company is going to want to take into account. There's going to be platform stability. How long has the platform been around? What's the age? What's the number of properties? Has it been stress tested? Has it gone through cycles where we know it won't collapse and it won't fail? It won't be, hacked by Russians. What's the financial stability of the company that's underwriting the app? So Centriq and Encompass, and then our parent Partstown. What's the scalability? Can some of the startups I've heard about can only help a production builder in a specific market? They can't go beyond Phoenix, for example. They can't go into Florida or the other places because they don't have staff. So there's going to be a number of risk factors that, just from a business standpoint, I think the builder is going to want to ask tough questions, and therefore you need to be disciplined. They're disciplined in how they buy every component that goes into a home. I don't see why they'd be any less disciplined when it comes to something like this, which again touches customer satisfaction, which always directly correlates into future sales.
Hey, Mike, you worked for KB. That's a pretty darn big builder. I mean, how do the things that Chris just ticked through on his list sound to you in terms of comprehensively addressing the factors under consideration?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've actually recently reached out to KB Home and presented it a little bit to them, and got Chris in touch with some of them from KB Home, and I'm hoping that it works out for him. I think it's a benefit to anybody in any corporation, that it's going to save them money. I think it's great for everyone.
We talked about the owner experience and the ability to be efficient in managing that asset, and to be able to enjoy their lifestyle because they are efficient. That's certainly something that stood out to me as a key benefit. I think the warranty management and administration piece seems like a very strong thing for builders. We didn't even talk about the ability to offer extended warranties through this platform. I think that's another piece of the value stream that's going to emerge over time. The marketplace aspects, the ability to order the consumables, and the maintenance scheduling and that sort of stuff. seems strong. And everything I'm hearing, Chris, from your users here is ease of implementation and support for the early implementation. Seems like it's spot on. So those are some of the highlights that I would take away. We're going to put up a final slide here that's got Chris's email address. It's got my email address. Chris, if someone wants to dig in deeper with you on applying this to their business, what's the best way for them to do that? What does the process look like when they get in touch with you?
The process is, I believe the best way is to listen first. So I want to understand, are they trying to solve a problem here and now, or are they exploring ways to innovate and to be new and disruptive in their industry? So understanding where they're coming from is really the starting point. And then rather than PowerPoint presentations, which you can see I'm capable of doing, I like to go directly in and demonstrate the app, because seeing the app in real life and seeing how it's easy to use and easy to upload a property and easy to work with, I think really sells itself. So I generally have the initial discussion with them via Zoom or Teams, and we will go through a demonstration, we'll go through the value proposition, and then I kind of let them kind of drive the process in terms of asking questions. Is this for information? Is this, hey, we're seriously looking at this? And then obviously move into pricing and more detailed discussion and tailoring of a response specific to what their needs are.
Thank you, everybody, for your time today. I thought we covered a lot of ground. I really appreciate the users sharing their experiences. It's good. Maybe others can follow in your wake and benefit from you being pioneers on this. But thanks again to Centriq. You've got the slide up there for more information from Chris, and we'll see you next time on a Builder Innovator webcast.